All right, brothers. So I want to make a quick message to the brothers out there again. Uh, we still practicing semen retention lifestyle, and it's by choice. It's something that it's voluntarily being done, right? It's not that I can't get a girlfriend. It's not that I can't get a woman. It's that the truth is I've been beat up so much and took so many L's in relationships that I made a conscious choice that something has to change. And I want to say to you fellas out there, it's not a knock on your manhood. All right, put your egos to the side. Uh, keep your self-esteem intact. It's not. Look, nobody. Look, here's the bottom line. You ain't got no power. I'm gonna just come out and tell you the truth. What I've learned, I've been married, divorced, lost house, vehicles, finances, whatever. Been through the ringer. Been through the ringer. You name it, I've been through it. In terms of relationships, and I've been through a lot of terrible relationships, and I had to come to the realization that it was me. It wasn't the relationships. It was me. Right? And that's a hard pill to swallow, to take responsibility and accountability that you're the problem. And so that's why semen retention is the lifestyle that I've chosen voluntarily. And the reason is I got to get my act together, right? I'm an old man. I'm 44 years old. And for those of you who would say you're 44, you should know better, you're right. I should, but I didn't. I didn't, and I'm doing it now. And as the old saying go, better late than never. Period. But here's why I want to make this video. I want to say to you, to the fellas out there, anybody who might be, facing similar situations as myself. Here's the bottom line: you don't have, when it comes to relationships, you have zero power. You have zero power, and this is all by experience. And for the brothers who don't want to accept that they don't have no power, I'll see you sitting in prison. That's how it goes. I'll see you when you're sitting in prison. I'll put something on your commissary. Because here's the bottom line. For those of you who think you have power when a relationship is going south, when it's failing, and you believe you have power, you're an idiot. You have no power. And I'll see you sitting in prison. Because here's the bottom line. I was talking to my cousin about this, and he goes through stuff too. And I told him, you ain't got no power. And he swears to God he does, that she gonna do what he's saying, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But here's the reality. Why I say you have no, here's the reality. Him and I were having this discussion, and he said he believes he has power over his woman. And I tell him he doesn't. He says he does, I tell him he doesn't. So he represents millions of men out there who think they got power. Here's what I said to him to prove to him he has no power. He's a big smoker. He smokes a lot, drinks a lot, all that. And I said to him, you have power? He goes, hell yeah. I would say this, she gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. The ego. That was pure ego talking. So here's how I challenged him to prove to him that his theory of having power is nonsense. I said to him, and we're the same age, and he had some health issues and all that, and I said to him, yo, stop smoking cigarettes. Prove to me you have power over your relationship, over your woman, by proving to me you have power over yourself. And I'm going to tell you what he said. That's what he said. Nothing. It was a moment of silence. You'd have thought somebody died and they had a moment of silence. You could hear the pin drop, quiet as a bird. I said, so since he was quiet, I knew he was gonna be quiet, and I let that awkward silence sit there for a minute. I did it intentionally. Let it sit in, let it sink in, let it marinate a little bit. Then I broke the weird, awkward silence, and I said, look, you can't even tell yourself to put the cigarette down. You can't stop yourself from drinking. You've been drinking 20, 30 years, whatever, 15 years, however long, 10 years, a decade. And you can't stop that. So how the hell are you going to tell another human being what to do? How are you going to control another human being when you literally have no control over yourself? Now, I'm saying that to every and any man out there who think they can control a woman. You can't control a woman. You cannot make a woman submit to you, fellas. Get that in your head. You can't. It was a tough pill to swallow because I'm just coming to this realization at the ripe age of in my 40s. early 40s, mid 40s. I'm 44. So I guess that's still considered early 40s, 45. I'm right there at the mid 40 range. And I learned this my last divorce, I was 40. Yeah, I was 40 on my last divorce. So that's 4 years ago. By the time I hit 40, that's when it really dawned on me that you have no control. And when I say control, I'm not talking about like, physical control. That's one form. But I'm talking about financial control, right? Emotional, psychological, spiritual. You have zero control. Zero. You have an illusion of control. The control you think you have, it's an illusion. It's not real. You have no power over that person. You have no power. And I know a lot of brothers will think like, well, I got my house in order. I got my woman in check. No, you don't. No, you don't. Here's what you have. If you're in a healthy relationship and your woman she submits herself to you, I hate to burst your bubble, but it really has nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. Not in the sense of what you think. It has everything to do with God's grace. Everything to do with God's grace. If you don't believe in God, it has everything to do with the universal order. Because some people don't believe in God. They believe in the universe. But God created the universe, so therefore the universe is God. God created the universe. You see what I'm saying? God created the universe. So therefore, when you say you believe in the universe, by virtue, you believe in God. By default. You see what I'm saying? So, if you're in a healthy relationship, God bless you. There's never hate. I salute you. Congratulations on that. I'm not a hater. Never been, never will be. I don't care how many times I fail at anything in life. I'll never be a hater, and I'll never envy anybody, any man for what they have. Never. It's not in my blood. It's not in my DNA. I have different flaws. Hate and envy is not one of them. It's never you that have your woman in order or your house in order or that falls, that ego in every man and all of us that think, oh, I have her in check or I have this in order. That's your ego speaking. Get your ego out the way. It has nothing to do. It's grace. For whatever reason, God has blessed you with that. But it has nothing to do with you per se. It is not because I have this, because you have no power. You have no control. This is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. You've been blessed with a submissive woman. That's a blessing. And it took me years to learn this. It's a blessing. You might think, oh, I make money and I take care of this. You do all of that, but that's not why she's submissive. She's submissive because God allowed her to submit to you. God allowed her to submit to you because the forces and the power that operates every human being. There's a force that operates all of us. It's called a program. That's another term for it. But the forces that govern us, influence us, can only be subdued by the power of God. So the feminine energy, right, that influences the female behavior can only be subdued to the masculine energy by the power of God. Only God can make the feminine energy subdue itself to the masculine energy. Because if the feminine energy is not in subjection to the masculine energy, you're going to have a collision. And this is where all the violence and domestic violence and all the killings and all the evils that we see in relationships, all the cheating, all the deception, all the adultery, all the chaos. It's because the feminine and masculine energy has not harmonized. And when masculine and feminine energy is not in harmony, you can only have a chaos. You can only have turmoil. You can only have upheaval. And the only way to get masculine and feminine energy to be in accord, to be in one, to be in unison, to be in harmony is God's grace. Only God can bring the feminine energy and the masculine energy into a harmonious existence or coexistence. It's not you, fellas. Hate to burst your bubble. And it's not you, ladies. It's a grace of God. I would not, any man or woman who takes God's glory or take his power onto themselves is only setting themselves up for failure. Because man cannot overcome or subdue feminine energy with intellect or any material. Look how many multi-millionaire dudes women still cheat, or their woman will leave them, but they have all the money, but their woman will leave them for another rich dude or a dude who has just as equal money. So it's not the money. You see what I'm saying? He has $1 million, the other dude has $1 million. She leaves him for the dude who, they both have they're still on par. She didn't leave you and go up or down. She just made a lateral move. Why she made that lateral move? It's the forces, the power. Her feminine energy was not in harmony with your masculine energy. So the bottom line is, the reason for this video is you have no power. Because again, I test your theory. You're an avid drinker, and your doctor tells you your kidneys are damaged, you need to stop drinking, yet you can't stop drinking. You have no power. You're an avid smoker, and the doctors let you know that your lungs is messed up, your throat, you're going to get throat cancer or whatever, and you still smoke. You have zero power. You do not have power over yourself. You cannot have power over another. 99% of us do not have control of ourselves. The average human being does not exercise self-autonomy. He does not have control over himself. The average human being does not have self-control. And I know some will say, yes, you do. But again, I test you. Stop your vice. Your vice might not be smoking. It might not be drinking. It might be gambling. Stop gambling. Stop going to the casino. All right, that's not your vice. Your vice is hanging out in the lounge with your boys or with your girl. Stop hanging out in the bars. Stop hanging out. Stop frequenting. We all have a routine. Every human being has a routine. It's called a conditioning, a programming. And some are healthy and some are unhealthy. I'm not talking about the healthy ones. The unhealthy vices, the unhealthy habits. Stop those unhealthy habits. You can't. You can't. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. You can't. I'm talking to people my age, 40 and better, who has some, it could be gluttony. You can't, your doctor's like, listen, you're obese. You need to stop eating this food. I see it every day. We all see it. I got people who I'm working with who are, damn near, getting ready to fall out of here. And the doctors tell them, yo, stop eating. You have to lose weight. And I watch them, knowing that they have to eat healthy. And I hold, I'm one of those people that hold you accountable. If I see you doing, I'll be like, hey, listen, you ain't supposed to be eating that. Where's your salad? Where's your alkaline water? And I watch them. Obviously, I can't make them, but I'll hold them accountable. I'll remind them. And I watch them still eat the junk while they know their blood pressure, the cholesterol, and they should. My point again, we human beings do not have power over ourselves. At this age, I'm not talking about when you're 20 and you're 25, you're young, you're full of life, you could drink, you could drink acid and be all right at that. I'm talking about when you reach a certain age and you've been conditioned and programmed. At that age, most human beings do not have control over themselves. Being able to get up and go to work, that's not having self-control. You're just programmed to do that. You got bills to pay. You're being forced. If you don't, your mortgage, your light, everything gets cut off. You're being goaded by bills. That's not self-control. People get up and go to work because they're being coerced by the light man or the tax man or whatever the bill is, the phone bill, the gas bill, the light bill. Those are all stimulants that motivate you to go to work. That's not self-control. Most people are 9 to 5 because they need to be controlled and governed. They're not entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs got to get up at 5, 6 in the morning and start and work 12, 14-hour shifts and run the whole business. Most people can't do that. So my point is, most people do not have power and control over themselves. And like I said, I prove that theory. Even anybody watching this video, if you have a bad vice that you've been a habit that you know is not good for you, stop doing it. Cold turkey, just stop. I bet you can. I bet you can. And if you stop, I bet you relapse. Why you think everybody do New Year's resolution? Oh, I'm going to lose weight this year. I'm going to start a new diet. I'm going to cut out carbs. I'm going to eat healthy. And after a week, I give them a week, they lapse back. And this is not a judgment. It's not a judgment. I'm not throwing stones. It's an observation about human nature. It's an observation about human nature. 99% of us are running on autopilot. We do not have self-control. So don't think you can control another human being. Don't think you can control a woman. Or if you're a woman, don't think you can control a man. And if you're a man and you have your house in order, God bless you. Don't take God's credit. That's God's grace. He blessed you with that. You're breathing right now. Inhaling and exhaling. Right now, your body is burning, your metabolism is burning food in your body. That's all part of your CNS, your autonomic nervous system, central nervous system, which is part of the autonomic nervous system, ANS, which is part of the vagus nerve, parasympathetic nerve, and sympathetic nerve. All those complex plexus that I just announced or just stated, they're all responsible for your involuntary bodily functions. You're breathing. No, you're not, because you're not consciously breathing. You breathe even when you sleep. Your body burns, your metabolism burns foods when you're sleeping. So your breathing, your metabolic rate, your heart rate, your inhale and your lungs, your body functions on its own. You have nothing to do with that. These are all autonomic or automatic functions of your body. You inhaling and exhaling is not a conscious decision that you have to make. Your subconscious mind runs all of this. You have nothing to do with that. That's an analogy to show you that though you are the one breathing, you have nothing to do with your breathing. Your body is naturally breathing. Yes, you are breathing, but you're not in control of that. You can stop breathing, hold your breath, but for so long. Then eventually your body takes over and you breathe. I use that as an analogy to say, you're in a healthy relationship, you have a woman, you have a family, you're not in control of that. God is in control of that. God is the autonomic nervous system that is functioning that is allowing that woman to be submissive to you. That is allowing you to provide for your family so that the submission can remain in place. Because believe you me, you stop providing, submission all of a sudden looks a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? Resources start getting scarce. You better pray that his grace will keep us in submission. So I say all that to say, put the ego, fellas, get the egos out the way. Get the egos out of the way. You're not in control of nothing. Nothing. It is grace upon grace, God's grace, which is God's riches at Christ's expense, why you got anything. Why you have life itself. And I said, if you think you're in control, stop smoking that cigarette. You watching this video, you're a drinker, stop drinking. You watching this video, you're a gambler, stop gambling. Until you do that permanently, I don't want to hear nothing. You ain't in control of nothing. Peace.